Hello, Bay Ridge. Welcome to another edition of After Hours. On Sunday, we began our new series we're calling The Coming King. I've been excited about this. It's an idea I've talked a little bit about over the last couple of years with Wendy Dykeman and some others since I've come to learn some about this history in the church. And we looked specifically on Sunday at the old O Antiphon, it was called, of O Wisdom, O Sapientia. And it's a really important concept, looking at the fact that it was prophesied that the Messiah would be anointed with the spirit of wisdom, and how that idea develops throughout the scripture. And moving into the New Testament, where we're told Jesus is, in fact, the wisdom of God. He's presented that way many and multiple different times. And on Sunday, I even mentioned that wisdom was important for us. This is an important concept and idea because the statement I made was that wisdom is the warp and the woof, the very fabric and structure of creation. It is the warp and woof of the world, if you want. Now, that idea, warp and woof, you may have heard of it and not been exactly sure what it is, but it simply referred to the fact that the warp was the lengthwise threads in something that was being woven together, and the woof was the threads that went across. So it meant that the warp and the woof were how the fabric was made, how the thing came together. And the biblical idea is that wisdom is woven throughout creation. God created in His wisdom, by His wisdom. Wisdom is woven into everything that happens in creation. You can see this in many places in the Psalms and in Proverbs. There's a whole great hymn to wisdom, Lady Wisdom, which is a metaphor for God's wisdom and how she's involved in the creative act. And this idea is very important for us as Christians to grapple with and understand. The New Testament takes it and, for example, speaks of Jesus as the Logos, which was a Greek philosophical idea of the underlying structure and reality of the universe. And when Christians have reflected upon this, for example, in O Sapientia, the O Wisdom Antiphon, notice that how they took the biblical data regarding wisdom. They said, O wisdom, which came from the mouth of the Most High, reaching to the ends of the earth, ordering all things mightily and gently, come teach us the way of prudence. So notice there that the wisdom is coming forth from the mouth of the Most High. This is a recognition of Jesus being begotten by the Father before all worlds, and also His incarnation, and how, notice, He reaches to the ends of the earth. It's everywhere, and it orders all things mightily and gently, both with strength but also with gentleness. And this references who Jesus is and how He works. And then we're asking Him to teach us wisdom. And the other poem that I referenced on Sunday, and I'm encouraging folks to look at, by Malcolm Guite, the Anglican priest, his reflection on this reads this way. And notice how you hear how wisdom is the underlying structure of everything in the universe. I cannot think unless I have been thought, nor can I speak unless I have been spoken. I cannot teach except as I am taught, or break the bread except as I am broken. O mind behind the mind through which I seek, O light within the light by which I see, O word beneath the words with which I speak, O founding unfound wisdom finding me, O sounding song whose depth is sounding me, O memory of time reminding me, my ground of being, always grounding me, my Maker's bounding line, defining me. Come, hidden wisdom, come with all you bring. Come to me now, disguised as everything. Notice that when Malcolm Guite thinks through this O Antiphon and the idea of biblical wisdom, he's saying that rather than thinking, where would I find wisdom? He's saying, where would you go where it was not? It is everywhere. We can't even think if God hasn't thought previously. We can't speak if God hasn't spoken previously. That wisdom is the mind that's behind our mind. It's the light behind the light with which we seek. It is, as he put it, it's the founding. It's before anything. It was unfound, but it finds us. It bounds out reality for us, and it comes to us in everything. And the thing that's important for us, there are some today who want to challenge Christians like, well, where is God? Where is the evidence for God? My response to that is, where is anything other than evidence for God? God, His hand, His wisdom is woven through all of creation. And this is important for us to grasp. If you notice in the O Antiphon, it said, come teach us the way of prudence. We want to live in wisdom because wisdom means we're lining up with the fabric of the universe. We're walking in line with the way God has actually made reality. One of the great tragedies of sin and the great tragedies of the folly that goes on around us in our culture today is in proclaiming ourselves to be free, we're actually becoming slaves. In proclaiming ourselves to be wise, we're actually becoming fools, because true freedom and true wisdom is found in walking humbly with Jesus Christ and in walking out the way that He's actually structured the universe. It's understanding that God's law is freedom because it actually defines for us reality, the way things are. And friends, when you and I ever walk and rebel against reality, it always doubles back with pain and difficulty and problems for us. So God, out of love, has spoken to us in wisdom. He calls out to us by the very wisdom of God, Jesus Christ, to come walk in His paths, because therein is true life and true blessing. I hope this is an encouragement to you. I encourage you to continue thinking about and meditating on these things deeply. I hope you have a blessed week, and I look forward to gathering again this Sunday. God bless.